Hey there, Nate Urandi, Orion Training Systems. It's been a while. I haven't really been inspired much lately to make a video. Written a few things, but quite frankly, with how sport in general is in a really disheartening space, just didn't really motivate me to want to engage much from that perspective. That said, I literally sat here for just about 5 minutes and jotted down a bunch of stuff as to why it's in such a disheartening sport. So I'm going to rattle those off. First of all, there's the hypocrisy and the BS in big sports such as rugby, soccer, football. Good example, that being American football. Julian Edelman, suspended doper, misses the first 4 games of the NFL season and turns into Super Bowl MVP. You've got John Jones, Dana White, and Jeff Nowitzki making a complete mockery of MMA and the anti-doping system. You've got more and more masters athletes that are getting popped. And I still come back to this. The guys who have vilified me for suggesting that, masters is anything but clean. Like they truly believe less than 1% of all masters athletes are doping. Then you've got Rachel McKinnon, Dr. Rachel McKinnon, which is in question. For those of you who don't know, he is now a transgender world champion female athlete in cycling, and they stated emphatically that, citing a study that endogenous testosterone creates zero performance enhancement. The problem is that the paper cited doesn't support that assertion at all. So did she read it or just read the summary of it as to what it was looking into? Blood doping at the Nordic Ski Champs, with a video of Austrian Max Hauck caught red-handed, needle in arm in a hotel room. And in fact, multiple rooms at that hotel booked for exactly this. The net then gets cast even wider to pull in many more athletes across multiple sports. Another one popped through that was Stefan Den Fields, and I'm probably butchering that name, cyclist through many teams for about the past decade. And gave his confession. We'll be really curious to hear what he talks about, but sacked by his CCC team, the one that Jim Akowitz, with his own completely sordid past regarding doping, is now running, saying his biopassport was just fine. Shocker. Never would have guessed that Stefan was cheating. In other words, marginalizing the athlete. He's a one-off rogue. That's bullshit. The Aussies obliterating the team pursuit world record at the track championships that have been going on after being absolutely nowhere through 2018. Muir has suddenly found a ludicrous turn of speed like that of Mo Farah. And to be clear, after not being a prodigy in her teens, so she was an okay runner, certainly not national class, world class at that time. So what you need to understand is it's not their times, Mo Farah's, hers, that raise the question. It's the turn of speed in the final laps that is absolutely not normal at all. That's the red flag. You've got Paula Radcliffe, happy to wade into something about which she really knows very little, to debate whether Caster Semenya should be able to race, but continues to, refuses to answer very simple questions about her own stratospheric APB, athlete biological passport, off scores. Oh, and of course, the crown and glory, the complete ineffectiveness of the entire AD system. The bust at the Nordic Ski Champs came via police raid, had nothing to do with the AD system in place at all. So the AD system was left holding its, well, I'll let you fill in that blank. So indeed, dark days for sport with a capital S. And this is only scratching the surface. Again, this is what I wrote down in like 5 minutes. So imagine if I really put some thought to it or just did a little bit of research. I could probably fill up a notebook of what's been going on over the past days, weeks, month, singular. So arguably the most depressing piece is that society at large just doesn't care. And so there's not going to be any fix to this. And, that's it. I got to be careful how I say this. I'm going to say that's acceptable. It's not acceptable. I can accept that, which is different. But that said, if you're watching sports with anything but your eyes wide open, then I actually pity you, quite frankly. I'll leave you with that. Hopefully this was a little bit of eye-opening for you if you weren't aware of all these things that have literally been going on within the past handful of days. And as always, with your own sporting pursuits, happy training.